So Bronte, you mentioned that Lady Hertford had a lot of influence over the Prince Regent. Can you explain that a bit more, please?
Yeah, she was actually the subject of quite a few satirical prints at the time. The ones that we have at Temple Newsam are by George Cruikshank. This is one example. Here you can see they're in a sea of politics. You can see George's face on the front of the whale, and there's two streams kind of coming out of his nostrils, I guess, or his mouth. It's kind of hard to tell on this. But one of the streams says the liquor of oblivion, which is landing down onto Grenville, who was a Whig politician at the time. And then the other one is the dew of favour, which is kind of pouring down onto a boat of Tories. And this kind of just explains the whole influence that Lady Hertford had over George and his decision making. As you can see her right here, as a very sort of caricaturized version of herself with large breasts and very revealing outfits. She's a mermaid here, and she's sort of distracting George a bit. And then next to her is Lord Hertford, who is holding coral above his head like antlers, which is a sign of being a cuckold.
So Bronte, there's clearly a lot going on this Cruikshank print. Can you tell us a bit more about it?
Yeah, so this is a kind of direct reference to the relationship between George and Lady Hertford. So the title of it is An Excursion to Our Hall, which is a reference to Regley Hall, which was one of the Hertford's estates at the time. And George would often venture down there to go and visit Lady Hertford many, many times. So in this picture, you can see that Lady Hertford is here again, very exaggerated. She's kind of chatting with George in the back of this carriage. The people that are steering this carriage is the Devil, funnily enough, and Lord Yarmouth, and they're kind of cuddling up to each other as well, so it kind of suggests that Lord Yarmouth may have been up to something, don't know.
And was Lord Yarmouth Lady Hertford's son?
He was, yeah. And he has a sort of similar reputation as George did, so he was very into his women and lavish lifestyle kind of thing. And then who's leading the pack is Lord Hertford again, and he's got his antlers to suggest being a cuckold again. And he's riding a donkey, which is kind of demeaning, I guess, for someone of his sort of stature. And while they're heading to Regley Hall, they're passing by this female asylum, which is filled with George's past mistresses, which is another reference to his like sort of overindulgence in women and everything else.